So in this video I'm going to show you how to create a sofa, three-seated one, and we're going to start with a polygon cube. So I'm going to go to my tab here under the polygons and create a cube. Now I'm not going to be very accurate on this one. I'm just going to eyeball it, and as you can see here, I'm just going to get these vertices and move them back so I can get the proportions going. And what I need to do is, of course, make sure that this is always on, especially when you do this kind of work, wireframe unshaded. And I'm going to add some edge loops so I can extrude the back of the sofa. So I'm going to go ahead and use my insert edge loop tool. Create these three edges, and if we want to be very accurate, I can kind of go to my top view, select the entire piece, and as you can see, these are not accurate. I can actually turn on the X-ray of this. I can move this holding down the X and the middle mouse. I can move it to the middle of the this grid, and I can use the grid for accuracy. So I can select these vertices, hold down the X, go to the grid line, middle mouse, click, and I can just get these lined up. Same with this. Get X. When you do that, you want to make sure that you select the vertices, you enable the axis of movement, restrict it on one of the axes, like this one. This is the one that I want to move it to. And go to the grid line, hold on the X, just keep holding the X and the middle mouse button, and draw around. If you keep moving the mouse nervously around the grid line, the grid point, then these are going to just line up. The same with this group of vertices. I can select them, middle mouse, X, middle mouse, click. Same with these. So that could be a very good way to use the grid, and get more accuracy. Back to object mode and back to perspective. Now I'm going to turn off the wireframe unshaded. Sorry, the X-ray. I'm going to select these faces. Holding down the Shift key, I'm selecting these faces, and I'm going to extrude these pieces up. So this can be just the back of the sofa. Now this is the base here, and this is the entire surrounding area. And what I can do now is go back to object mode, and I'm going to select this. Since I'm going to be working on this piece and I'm going to give like detail, I would like to get the base out of the sofa. So I'm going to select these two faces here and extract them. So mesh, extract. Now what I'm left is this piece here, you can see, and the base. Of course I'm going to put some legs and then some cushions and so forth. So I'm going to start with this. Let's detail this part. If I press 3, it looks really soft right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start some adding some detail and some design to it. Now let's say we wanted these to kind of curve down like that. I'm going to add some edge loops. And the way to do it is I'm going to go get my edge loop tool and add some edge loop here. If you can see, that starts to get more tight in this area. And I'm going to do the same thing with here. If I want to have these lined up, I'm just going to press W to move it, and then press on the Z axis, go to this area, hold down the V, middle mouse, and snap this to the same exact height. So now we have the same exact dimensions. Now what I want to do is give it a little bit of a curve here. I'm going to select these two vertices, that goes here, and just move them down and back. Actually, I'm just going to move them down only. So if I press 3, I get a little bit of a curve, and you'll notice that once I start adding more detail. The detail I need to add is basically tighten all this area out. So now it's a good time to use the edge loop tool and add edges all around. So here, on this area, these can be more like, we can eyeball it. Of course, we need to add edges down this part, so we can tighten this area too. And you can see, obviously, we need to go and let's turn on. It gets a little bit complicated here, but if you notice, I can just select and drag an edge loop, go all the way to the end, hit the border here, and move back a little bit. So I'm gonna just do a little bit of that, and then do the same thing on the other side. So I'm getting these kind of nice the same here. So I think that overall we cannot go back and refine. What we would possibly need is another edge loop on the top. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add one more up here. So now it looks like we're getting there. One thing I would probably add is I can select. I'm gonna select these vertices here, these two here, and these. Control deselect the ones I don't need, and I would move them down a little bit so I can make it a little bit softer. So I need to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hold down the shift key and click on these guys too. Then move back. Sometimes you want to make sure you press forward and see if something else is selected, and yeah, I can see here another vertex. So I'm just going to hold Control and drag a selection to deselect that vertex over there. So I'm going to press 5 again and then move these guys down. What happens is if I press 3, so I'm getting a little bit more, and you can notice that it's just like I am reducing the tension around this area. The closer the edge loops are, the tighter it gets. So this is a good start. Now I'm going to go ahead and just work on this piece.